You look
Oh,
awesome.
stop.
Awesome. Get on camera. Awesome. He looks awesome. Questions for Peter?
Tell us how you feel that things are going so far in the second set.
It's nice to get back on the field. I thought, today I thought the kids had good energy. We're getting, I guess, the multiples, right? Getting multiple defenses, multiple offensive, obviously plays, formations. But it's, this is kind of that really fun time, in my opinion, of the kids are really excited to be out. There's a lot of energy on both sides of the ball. There's a lot of new things, a lot of new wrinkles being introduced, and it's just fun kind of watching some of these guys mature into understanding what it's going to take to be, a good contributing member to the team.
As you reviewed things from that first week, what were some of the things that you had emphasized coming into this week of practice?
Well, we're going to always continue. The things you saw, our emphasis periods is we're team tackling a bunch. We're starting practices with different types of either a team tackling, which we're calling a layer tackling, where you're going to see multiple layers of players fit off of one another when the ball is outside the numbers. And then you saw us do the little circuit today with some more of the finish elements of the tackle, where you're seeing people thud up on each other, wrap up, run through contact. So the tackling, the finishing, those things are going to continue to be emphasis. And then, we always, a big point of emphasis for the entire defense is improving our pass defense. And that's pass rush, that's integrity of the pass rush, and then how we're playing some different concepts in the back end to help our players.
Is there a player or two that catch your attention so far that maybe is, I don't know, surprised, but it's jumping up and impressing you?
I think some of the new guys in the back end, it's been good to see kind of what their skill is going to be. Jair, I think, is really showing that he's a talented young man. Marcus Harris is a extremely talented player on the outside. Noel's having a good camp. Craig's having a good camp. Miles Williams, he was going through a tackle drill today, and I mentioned technician. He's extremely coachable, doing all the things we're asking him to do on the field in that regard. Matt Littlejohn is continuing to make some strides. So in these settings, without playing live football, a bunch of my energy goes to the back end, because I think you get an unfair assessment of the guys up front. If you can't go live and you can't leave your feet to tackle, offensive line, same thing for them, is they can't leave their feet to finish blocks. I don't think it's quite a fair fight to assess those guys until we go live, but the guys in the back end, they're playing full speed. So I think we're getting a real good feel for what their skill is.
Encouraged by that group?
Yes, yeah, I'm encouraged. I got a ton of belief in Trey and Terrence, and we're just continuing to put our heads together and trying to put the best technique, schematics that we can put together along with what's best for the players and what's best for the team.
Are the DBs pretty much locked into specific spots, or are you moving some around still?
No, I think there's several guys that have the capacity to play multiple positions. I know Colin Gamble could play inside, Colin could play outside. I think Jair could play outside, or Jair could play inside. So, and then kind of based on some of the health or availability of some of the other guys, we might ask them to play a position for a few snaps just to help the rest of the group get through practice.
How do you feel about the depth there? Is it where you want it to be? Or are you kind of hoping to build some more there? How's that going?
In my experience, the depth is never good enough. College football is a huge war of attrition. With guys that have been here, guys that are either coming back from injury, new guys that are joining us. That the battle of attrition is not only the injuries, but just the in and out with the portal. So I don't think I'll ever be adequately feeling good about the depth of anybody on defense.
It feels like at corner, both those guys play with a lot of confidence. Noel, Marcus. What's the key to being a successful cornerback in your system?
Well, for us, I think the first thing is knowledge. So we talked about this as a defense, is knowledge leads to confidence. Confidence leads to belief. And when you believe in yourself, then you got to let it rip. So to play on the perimeter, to play on the edge, to play in that kind of that showcase position, you have to know what you're doing. And then I think you have to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing. And then I think you have to believe in yourself. And then it goes back to, Belief isn't always making the play. Sometimes the other guy will make a good play, but believing in yourself to come back and battle back and do it again. So a lot of that's the mental toughness and the resiliency to play the position makes those guys good.
Miles was making a couple plays here towards the end of practice. What stood out about his development in his time here?
Yeah, and I think kind of what I said earlier. It's he's doing things exactly the way we're asking him to do it, and I think when you do that, you find yourself around the ball, and you can find yourself making some plays.
Talk a little bit about what you saw from Cade last season that impressed you as a freshman coming in, and what did he do to earn that spot on the field, and then what's he got to do to take the next step here this spring and summer?
Cade showed that he was a dynamic athlete, and you saw the ability for him to burst and finish. He was extremely inexperienced as a player, but I thought what he did was a really good job of managing kind of his emotions and collectively on how we instructed him. He didn't have a full backpack. We weren't asking him to carry even his load. It was, hey man, you just focus on these things. Let the other 10 guys kind of support her. We call it, they need to carry a little more of the water, and just go out there and play like a younger player. Don't put a lot on him, and let his ability shine. And I think that's one of those. I think less is more. When a young player that has talent goes out there, I think coaches can hurt him more than they can help him.
And so you put more on him this summer, and what do you expect out of him? What's the next step, next season?
Yeah, Cade needs to be a person that impacts the team. That can mean a lot of different things. That's on the field, that's in the meeting room, that's in the locker room, that's with some of the very, very young, inexperienced players we have in our room. It's his opportunity to pay it forward. Jackson Jackson took Cade under his wing. If you watch the last 6 games of the year, the linebacker coach wasn't coaching Cade. Jackson was coaching Cade. So now Cade needs to pay it forward.
And Cade hasn't practiced yet, but what are you seeing in his development, his maturity that lets you know he's going in the right direction?
How he talks, how he handles himself in the meeting room. He's out here doing the walkthroughs. He's the first guy in line doing the walkthroughs. He's the first guy answering the question in the meeting room. I think Cade's on the right path. Again, I think he is a very talented athlete that can be as good a linebacker as we've had here in a long time.
A lot of times with those younger guys, the want to kind of outshines the mental side of it. How is he on the mental side, and how has he continued to grow in that area?
Cade?
Yeah.
Cade is, Cade shares some similarities. So I think Cade, if I remember right, I think Cade might have been the 6th young man that I've had opportunity to coach to earn some type of freshman All-American awards. And the trait that all the kids, with the exception of one, is they were mature beyond their experience. And I think that's the common denominator that I've had with 5 of those 6 guys is how life wasn't, the game wasn't bigger than what they were ready for. They were extremely mature. They had a consistency in their life, and when the opportunity arose, they had the talent to go along with that mental frame of mind.
And he was one of those 5.
He was one of those 5.